Hey guys! First of all, a big thank you to everyone who always supports me and my channel and subscribes. Please help me to share my content and leave a comment for the algorithm. My grow videos always have an age restriction, so they get recommended to far fewer people. In other words, I'm screwed. But now enjoy today's video. In today's run I want to show you how I grow and harvest a sour diesel X Zoda organically. My friend Mo gave me those seeds, and since a lot of you have been asking me for seeds lately, you can message him on Instagram if you're interested. To germinate them, I filled a 0.5 liter plastic cup with pre-fertilized soil that you can get from any grow shop. Then placed the seed about 2 cm deep into the soil, sprayed water directly onto the seed once with a small spray bottle, then covered the seed with soil and moistened the surface again with a few sprays. I then left the cup in the tent at over 15 degrees Celsius and checked it daily until the seedling emerged to the surface. If you want to see how this works, check out my video about the vegetative stage. Day 1 is counted from the moment the seedling breaks through the surface and shed its seed coat. This plant is a photoperiodic plant, which means that it will only enter the flowering stage once the light cycle is adjusted to 12 hours of light. As you can see, there were a few initial difficulties with germination, but I managed to revive the plant by maintaining very high humidity, around 70 to 80%. Then I let the plant root out the entire 0.5 liter cup until the plant had used up all the nutrients and the first signs of nutrient deficiency appeared, and then I repotted the plant into an 8 liter fabric pot. I actually really like doing this, since the law is only allowing me 3 plants at a time, and it gives me a bit more control over my growth because I'm essentially keeping a cutting in the cup. I have to say, it was clear early that this is a strong plant, but unfortunately I just couldn't give it the time and attention it deserved to live up on its full potential, which is why I will most likely grow this strain again. I simply tied the plant down at the main stem, that's all the training I did. For the flowering stage I then placed the plant in the spider farmer setup. The setup is a 70 by 70 by 160 cm Spider Farmer complete grow tent kit with the Spider Farmer SF1000 LED, a 100mm or 4-inch inline fan, a 100mm or 4-inch activated carbon filter, and the 6-inch Spider Farmer clip fan with different speed settings and adjustable oscillation. The entire setup is controlled and monitored via the GGS controller. I personally really like using the Spider Farmer app, as it is a very simple and hassle-free solution. You will find the links to the products below in the video description. Use my code 420Lexikon for an 8% discount on all Spider Farmer products. Before initiating the flowering stage, I usually give the plant about 3 grams per liter of medium, greenhouse feeding Bio Bloom. This time, however, I had to do it a few days later because I ran out of fertilizer. This is an organic slow release fertilizer that supplies the plant with nutrients throughout the entire flowering stage. For me, this is the best method as I don't have time to mix a fertilizer solution every time I water. Also, unlike many others, I honestly don't see any relevant price differences when you consider the amount of products required and the frequency of application. We are now in the flowering stage. The light cycle is set to 12 hours to trigger the flowering stage, since this is a photoperiodic plant. Here the plant is in the stretch phase. These are the first 2 to 3 weeks of the flowering stage, in which the plant produces a height increase of 100 to 200%, depending on the strain and the length of the vegetative stage. This time I decided against lollipopping the plant, since the fade started very early and I let the plant dry out more often, so I simply kept removing the dried out leaves. I want to emphasize again that I'm doing a home grow in my own style here. I want to keep it as simple as possible. From this point on, I really just need to water the plant until harvest. In every growth stage, the VPD or vapor pressure deficit is actually the ideal value that you should focus on. The VPD is influenced by the ratio of temperature to humidity. You can read and adjust your current VPD using charts. There are different charts for each type of lamp. I have included the ones for LEDs in the description. I keep the clip fan running all day long, so as long as the lights are on, simply to reduce the chance of mold developing. In the first few weeks of the flowering stage, I sometimes let the temperature rise to about 29 degrees Celsius. In the last 2 weeks of the flowering stage, however, I'm more careful not to let it go above 25 degrees Celsius to preserve terpenes and cannabinoids. The late discoloration, or specifically the yellowing and drying out of the leaves, is intentional towards the end of the flowering stage. The plant finishes its life cycle, uses up all the nutrients from the leaves and then sheds them off. This process is also known as organic flush and ensures that less chlorophyll needs to be broken down in the final product, resulting in a smoother and more flavorful smoke. This time I didn't play around with 48 hours of only light or only darkness before harvest, since the plant was still sharing the tent with other plants. On day 60 I harvested the sour diesel cross Zoda. To dry the plant, I hung the whole plant upside down after removing all the larger leaves, i.e. the fan leaves. It is best to hang the plant in a dark place with a temperature of 16 to 19 degrees Celsius and a humidity of 55 to 60% to preserve terpenes and cannabinoids. Drying the plant took about 10 days. This is what the buds looked like after drying, and the total harvest amounted to about 50 grams. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Check out the links in the video description and use my code 420Lexikon for an 8% discount on all Spider Pharma products. Leave a like and subscribe to show your support if you enjoyed the videos. Otherwise, thank you if you have watched so far, and I'll see you in the next run.